Hello, welcome to Search with Sean, and today we've got something different. I've been teasing it on LinkedIn, and here we are. So, if you're in the SEO world, you always see a lot of recommendations, what's coming up, what people think is going to come up in the next year. Now we're here in 2025, and it's always good to look at. I must admit, I'm a little bit skeptical about predictions generally because there's so many things that can change what happens. Anything internally in organizations to externally, like factors like things like COVID changed the game massively, and things just pop up you don't expect. So making predictions is very difficult. So I tend not to do it. I just kind of read others, and it's always worthwhile taking account of what people are saying and reading through what experts in the field think may happen, because you can still take something from it. Obviously, there's certain trends and patterns that people are seeing, and it's well worth reading about and taking it in. It doesn't necessarily mean it'll happen, but if the people in these experts in the field are thinking it and there's some patterns that develop, then obviously something's brewing. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. So we kind of, what I've done here is kind of compiled all the kind of different things I've come across where from, trusted publishers, where they're predicting what's going to be happening in SEO in the next year, and compiled all of them and kind of come up with the top kind of things that people are saying. Obviously, I probably missed some out, and, there may be some things that are repeated throughout this. And also, I'd say I might have missed some things out that people have kept bringing up, but I've tried my best, obviously use my AI friends to help me kind of compile it as well. So as you can see, that what we're going to do in this video is focus on kind of some of the key sources and what they're saying in these. So, the different publishers and the different experts that have been speaking, what they've been saying. And then we're kind of break down each main trend that come out of that. So I think it's quite interesting, and hopefully you enjoy it. So just some admin stuff as usual. If you'd missed it, Search with Sean Live did happen before the new year, and it was really great. It's my first time live streaming, so there was some issues that cropped up, but I think we handled it okay. And it went really great, and you can catch up with it all. There's over 8 hours worth of free digital marketing insights from some great speakers on a whole range of topics, from log file analysis to image optimization to dealing with redundancy, BigQuery, just loads, and it's well worth watching. And there is a playlist now on the YouTube channel that you'll find. Search with Sean Live it's called, and it includes 22 videos. Obviously you can watch the whole events back, day 1 and day 2, or you can watch the individual videos of each individual speaker going over their topics. And there will be another streaming event coming up in early this year. I'm not sure the exact date yet, but I've already got a couple of the videos and they're awesome, and you don't want to miss out. So definitely subscribe and you'll be the first to hear about that, or follow me on LinkedIn. So as I say, first of all, we're going to go through each of the sources that I took some of these insights off, and just kind of what they're saying on each individual publisher, where I got it from, and some of the kind of insights from the experts that were speaking on these particular articles or blogs or whatever they were. So and then obviously we'll kind of conclude with summarising it all, putting it all together and see what the main trends were. So again, there's some reading here, and as usual, all the links to all these sources will be in the description. So if you want to go and see for yourself what they're saying, obviously I could only take out bits and bobs from it, so I've not covered it all. So I have missed a few things. So, if you want to go and check them out yourself, then do go and look for those in the description and read for yourself. But the first source we're focusing on is from WTF SEO. I won't say what that means. And yeah, so basically AI will shape content. I mean, I think we all know that, but it's obviously a trend that's going to keep coming up in this presentation. But tools like ChatGPT will make better, faster writing. Now, some people may question the better aspects of that, but it'll definitely make it faster. And obviously, if you use it correctly, then maybe it will be better. User experience is everything. So pages must load quickly and easy to use on any device. And I think that's something that's been there for the last few years, but obviously with so much content on the internet now, and with people's patience, people haven't got any patience anymore. They want stuff now. Your sites need to work quicker than ever, because they'll just go to someone else who's got similar content, or a large language model. So obviously other things come into play. You need unique content and that kind of thing, but obviously they need to load quickly and be easy to use. Search engines will focus on intent. This is something we're going to hear a lot more about as well. It's not just about keywords, it's about what the user really wants to know. And I had an interesting talk with Amanda Walsh on this channel, and we talked all about that. And obviously Hrefs have got that intent tool, which is really great to use. And obviously and there's other tools that give you sort of intel into what intent the users have got to find your content. And voice search is growing, so more people will ask questions aloud, so websites need to answer them clearly. I mean, the only problem with this is that when it comes to search, obviously the things that AI overuse and stuff like that, they're answering questions directly, but yeah, obviously voice search is growing, and no doubt about it. I use it myself more, and yeah, that's definitely a trend that's been happening. Local content matters, so audiences want trusted local information that speaks to their specific area. And obviously with the advancements in personalization in the search results, local, and I'm sure that's going to keep on getting more and more improved in terms of how specific they are to areas and the content they display. So definitely that's going to keep growing. We just, when I look at these articles or blogs or whatever around, these predictions, I've kind of come up with picked out a few kind of key insights. So Caitlin here says, publishers will actively explore ways to build a strong presence on new platforms, focus on experimenting with new content that authentically connects with and engages audiences. And Ella says, building a community, having a unique voice, as everything generic is going to continue getting eaten by AI and engaging directly with your audience. So yeah, as I said before, you have to have something different. If you don't, you're just creating generic blogs and generic content. You're probably never going to get seen now, because AI is just going to answer those themselves, and the search features and all that kind of thing. So you really have to be that unique voice in your community. And, you can do that no matter what you are. If you're a plumber, if you're, insurance, if you're e-commerce, whatever, there are ways to build that. And there are some great examples out there for sure. So the next source is obviously a well-known one, is Moz. And some of the insights that came out of that is deeper AI integration. Obviously, we touched upon this last one. So AI and machine learning will become central to search engine algorithms and content personalization. So yeah, I mean, obviously we know how Google and so are moving in this direction, and it will continue. They made that pretty clear. Search intent and user experience, so understanding what the user really wants, as we said before, is more critical than ever. Fast loading pages and a smooth user experience remains a top priority for ranking well. So yeah, I mean, obviously people question how fast loading pages actually does impact of ranking factor. But either way, whether it is or not, we all use websites, and we all know how it's much better if the page loads quickly and you have a smooth user experience. I mean, know that, and as people rightly said, although that may not be a ranking factor in its own right, Google are tracking user behaviors. So if they kick off the site straight away because it's just rubbish at loading or whatever, then it will have an impact. EEAT, we all know hopefully now what it stands for, so I won't go through that. But obviously Google will continue to reward high quality sites that demonstrate credibility and expertise. So yeah, definitely that's, again, it's kind of obvious, but as we know, with so much more AI generated content, it's only going to increase in being important. Voice and visual search. So as we say, voice queries keep growing. So SEO should adapt to more natural language styles, cut out the jargon, cut out the sort of, trying to be clever, I guess, in the words you use. Obviously, it depends on the circumstances and what kind of brand you are, what industry you're in. But, just try and write more natural, I guess, and understandable to, bots and to people, of all ages and all, levels. So yeah, visual search technology, like image or video search, is expected to expand, especially on mobile. Again, no real surprises. Video, is huge. We only have to see the likes of, obviously, the social media platforms like TikTok, but obviously YouTube is just gigantic, and obviously owned by Google as well. Privacy and data. So a shift towards privacy first and user consented data usage will change how marketers gather insights. That's very interesting, that insight, and definitely worth reading this by Moz to read more about that, because I found that quite an interesting one. And like we said before, local SEO, so local search remains strong, with location-based queries still important for brand discovery. So especially, obviously, it depends on what industry you're in, but if you do have different areas that you target, local SEO is definitely as strong as it's ever been. So here's some more insights. So Andy said, in 2025, SEOs will shift their focus from search rankings to ensuring brand visibility and AI-generated responses. So yeah, that's, I don't know if, it means we're going to fully go all in on AI-generated responses, but there definitely should be some awareness around it and looking at it for sure. Amanda says, in 2025, AI search will push marketers to focus on curated content that blends insights from multiple high-quality sources, delivering real value and resonating with increasingly selective audiences. So yeah, great insight. Amanda Jordan's really great to follow. All these people are, you should follow them all. Amanda Jordan definitely is up there. Chima, I hope I pronounce it okay. In 2025, social search will play an even bigger role in search as users increasingly turn to content creators and peers for advice and reviews. Brands that diversify content and nurture communities will win. So yeah, I think that's really important. I think I really can see a lot of content creators going down that route, and I think that's how you're going to win for sure, is doing that, as they say, diversifying your content and building those communities for sure. So going on to the next source, and obviously we all know about this, the latest release, SEO FOMO Hub, great resource, obviously one we mentioned frequently on this channel. And the insights come out from this. So again, there's going to be a lot of duplication here, a lot of repeating, because it's obvious in a way what things are going to come up if if you kind of follow the SEO topic in a way. And there's only a certain amount of things that could actually be focused on, I guess. So there will be some duplication, but still interesting to see that these things keep cropping up, and well worth still tracking and seeing what people are saying. So AI-driven content, as I said before, so automation and AI-driven tools will help write and optimize content faster. Personalization at scale will be simpler, but requires careful oversight. I think that's definitely one that I'm very interested in. And obviously we had a talk by Frank van Dyke around automation at Search with Sean live, and that was really interesting. But I think AI obviously will help a lot of SEOs with that sort of automating processes that take usually a lot of manual hours to do. So EEAT, again, as I said before, Google prioritizes trustworthy content from real experts. Adding practical real-world experiences can boost search rankings. So, I mean, obviously, we don't know if that's a direct link to search rankings, but obviously, from a user standpoint, adding real-world experiences is always a bonus, isn't it? And it does improve the user experience. So user-focused strategies. So search engines reward pages that answer real-life queries quickly and accurately. Obviously, we can all see from the way that things are going with AI overviews and SERP features that is, and the way that people use social media, that is the way that people are time poor now, in many ways. There's lots of distractions more than ever, and people just want stuff quickly. So if you can do that in your content, then it will probably help you. And as we said before, fast loading, mobile friendly, and easy to navigate sites are essential. Multimedia and interactive content, so like videos, podcasts, and interactive formats can help websites stand out. Exactly. If you have two similar pieces of content, but you have a really detailed video or a related podcast about the topic, your topical authority will increase, and it may help sway that decision that they rank your piece of content over another. So, it's worth investing in. And you can, what's really good about if you create videos, that you can, distribute this to social media, emails, PR campaigns, so on and so forth. It's more than just stick it on your webpage, And same with podcasts. Voice and conversational search. So again, as we say, voice search continues to grow. More conversational queries appear in search. Obviously, this has been, the funny thing is, obviously, like I've been looking at these predictions for a few years now, and so I've been in the industry a while now, and voice search has always been up there. Like, it's always been one that has been included. But I guess obviously now with the rise of things like ChatGPT and their voice, and chatbots generally, and obviously including voice, is even more likely that it will grow now, to be fair. And obviously structured data and natural language content can make sites voice search friendly. So yeah, that's a good shout. And again, local SEO. So location specific queries remain crucial for attracting local audiences. So Garrett Sussman, well known in the industry, says ChatGPT will grow in market share, not as a direct challenger to Google, but as a supplemental alternative starting point of the search journey. Bing will reap the benefits behind the scenes. Sarah said proper site architecture, schema markup, and technical SEO fundamentals remain important as AI-driven search becomes more sophisticated. Yeah, again, if it's still fundamentals, but obviously things like the site architecture and the schema markup do become more important as AI bots try and navigate around your content. Amanda King says SEO teams will need to collaborate closely with content creators, UX designers, social media teams, PR professionals, and brand marketing departments. Yeah, so if you wasn't before, you should definitely do that now, because that building the brand, getting that message out there, getting that exposure and that visibility to a wider audience is going to be more important than ever, with things ramping up in terms of how busy the search results are getting. So yeah, you definitely should be doing that. So again, Alida Solis, but this was on her Crawling Mondays YouTube channel, which you should definitely follow. Really, really great. And obviously there's some overlap, but she had some guests on to speak about, you know, predictions and stuff. So I thought I'd cover it as well. But again, AI-driven search and generative AI integration. So increased focus on AI-powered summaries for search results covering transactional and informational queries. Zero-click searches and SERP evolution. So search engines increasingly provide answers directly on the SERP, as we know, reducing traffic to external sites. This is a thing, like, you know, generally in overall, we're probably going to see less traffic to websites. So, you know, that's going to be a communication thing with other teams and managers and so on about, you know, shifting the focus from traffic to visibility and market share. Greater focus on features like carousels, knowledge graphs, and other SERP elements over traditional link-based results. I think people are already shifting in that direction. Brand authority and topical relevance. So strong emphasis on creating clear, niche-focused identity to compete effectively. So I think we've already seen with some of the latest updates how if you veer away from your, you know, the expert topic that you're meant to be involved in or what you're renowned for, if you start steering away from that, you can get penalized. So it's well worth just focus on your niche area and covering it as best you can. Content strategy and quality standards. So obviously mass produced low quality AI content faces penalties, as we know. Focuses on authentic, expert-driven content. Focusing on trust, authority, and relevance through well-defined content strategies. Diversification beyond traditional SEO. So importance on exploring platforms like TikTok, Reddit, and Instagram for visibility, especially for smaller brands. Leveraging blended strategies, including CRM, and community building to create a multi-channel approach. And user behavior and trust. So users increasingly trust search engines to provide the best answers, leading to less exploration. That's obviously a very interesting one. Rising consumer fatigue with over-engineered content and increased preference for real straightforward recommendations. So yeah, I think that's a really good point, that one. You know, user behaviors are definitely changing, you know, with people tending to just, obviously with search engines trying to give the answer straight away, maybe people would tend to go less to explore different websites to find the answers. We will see, but also, you know, people just want the answers now, as we are seeing with, you know, some of the studies that come out about how long people are waiting to get the information, that kind of thing. So, you know, people have less and less patience these days. And yeah, they just, like I say, they're time poor. They just want answers now. So moving on. So there's some more kind of insights from the same video. I'll just move this. Something pop up. So SEO in a broader digital ecosystem. So SEO needs to integrate with wider digital strategies, including traditional marketing and brand building efforts. Focus on understanding user intent and creating holistic user-centric strategies. So as we said before, you know, it is going to be more important than ever to, you know, if you have it, to team up with UX teams, with PR teams, email, brand departments, if you have it, you know, because of this need to build the brand and build that sort of wider visibility. So technical excellence and experimentation. So technical SEO remains fundamental, but it's also increasingly intertwined with user experience and content strategies. So yeah, people go on about core web vitals and stuff and how important it actually is. But as we mentioned before, with so much content out there, what could make a difference? One of the things that could make a difference is your content is actually quite easy to read. The website flows well. It's a nice user experience. That does make a difference. Brand building as a long-term SEO strategy. So as I mentioned before, creating a strong brand identity and a loyal customer base is seen as a sustainable way to succeed among constant algorithm changes, building trust through expertise and delivering exceptional user experiences, and reacting to industry trends and feedback. So the importance of proactive adjustments by SEOs to stay ahead of shifts in search behavior and algorithm updates. Yeah, I think obviously with that one, it should be important from your own website side of view to keep continuing to track user behaviors for sure, and how people act in on search to find your site and that kind of thing. For sure, that's going to be so important. And as Amanda said in a chat with her, is that these can change. I think some websites and marketing teams, they create like personas and then they stick with them for years and that kind of thing, and then they look at page intent and they may not revisit it for a while, but because of there's so many things that can interfere with it, internal and external factors, that intent can change quite quickly, the way that people see things. So, and she gave some great examples as well, so it's well worth going back and watching that, and I'll put a link as well to watch that. So the next source is Anne Smartin. This is a newsletter on LinkedIn, so worth recommending. I truly recommend going and subscribing to that newsletter for sure. So the insights come out of this was decreasing organic traffic. Features like AI overviews and Reddit threads are reducing clicks to websites. Clicks that do happen are often more valuable as they lead to actions, not just information retrieval. I think that's a really great point actually from Anne, is that, in the future, because people are getting these, the basic answers from AI, the people that do go through to your website are probably going to be more valuable because they're not just looking for those quick answers. They're looking for more detailed information. So if you can provide that, then you should get the rewards. Challenging attribution, I think it's a really great point actually, and not one that many have brought up, but the personalized nature of AI-driven search results complicates measuring the impact of SEO efforts. Google's lack of transparency on traffic sources like AI overviews make tracking ROI more difficult. And yeah, obviously people are screaming out for more information, AI overviews like on Search Console, but it doesn't look likely that Google are going to add that information. So increased brand searches. So generative AI, social platforms, community discussions drive indirect traffic, prompting users to research brands later. SEO and brand authority. So building a recognizable, authoritative brand is essential for visibility in generative AI and search results. Invest in external platforms, influencer partnerships, viral campaigns, and social media ads to enhance brand awareness. Site reputation, algorithmic challenges. Avoid island sections on your site. Integrate content through internal links to maintain authority and relevance. So yeah, I think that's a really great point actually. Obviously we all know the value of internal linking, but I think now than ever it's more important as ever really. Marketing diversification. So experiment with different platforms and monitor emerging competitors to adapt strategies. Build email newsletters, referral programs, or brand advocacy communities to reduce dependencies on search traffic. So yeah, just as we said about getting the word out there, you know, if you are going to create a piece of content, for example, and just stick it on organic and hope that's going to do all the work, or even just organic and paid, you know, use your different tools you have, like newsletters, like say building communities, PR, whatever. Because yeah, as we touched upon here, organic traffic may be more difficult to get in terms of actual traffic figures, not visibility. And obviously paid has got its own challenges as well. So the next source is our friends over at Candor Agency. And yeah, as usual, they have some really great videos, and they did a video about what could possibly happen in 2025. So definitely worth a watch, and say all the links are in the description as usual. So they say increased personalization in search. So more recommendation systems may evolve to be more user specific, offering tailored commercial and informational results similar to recommendation engines used in entertainment platforms like Netflix. Shifting user experience with search interfaces. So conversational and visual searches are expected to complement text-based queries, with users engaging in more interactive, explorational-driven searches. Potential monetization shifts in search. So this was a really, really interesting one, actually. Google may consider introducing a subscription-based model for informational searches where users pay for ad-free, highly curated knowledge services. This could coexist with a more transactional, action-focused free version of search for commercial queries like shopping or bookings. Yeah, if that happens, I'll be very interested to see where that goes. Market share battles and legal ramifications. So obviously we know we've covered this on the channel, but legal pressures from antitrust cases could force Google to unbundle its ecosystem, creating potential openings for competitors like ChatGPT, Bing, and emerging players. Evolving role of SEOs and brand building. So SEOs will need to adapt to an era where brand trust and personal expertise play a more significant role. Building authority through content diversity, thought leadership, and personalized recommendations will be crucial. SEO strategies are likely to shift towards more creating communities and fostering relationships through events, podcasts, and other engagement-based formats, complementing traditional traffic optimization. Again, like we said, that's a clear message throughout all of this is, you know, a shift towards creating communities and fostering relationships. It seems to be one of the key messages. The next source we're focusing on is, again, well known. It's Majestic. Obviously, every year they do the kind of a huge sort of bundle, I guess, of library of videos of great, people in the industry, experts commenting on what they think is going to happen in the next year. So yeah, obviously the links in the description to watch all those. I've started to watch some really fab stuff in there. So yeah, the insights from that is emphasis on brand and trust signals. So building and maintaining brand awareness is becoming increasingly crucial. Establishing and showcasing trust signals such as positive user reviews and authoritative backlinks will be vital in gaining user confidence and improving search engines. Great point there. Integration of social signals. So the influence of social media on SEO is expected to grow, with search engines potentially considering social signals as an indicator of content relevance and popularity. This underscores the need for a cohesive social media strategy alongside traditional SEO efforts. I mean, if that happens, that could be really interesting because, obviously not everyone's on social media, and it depends what social media platforms they consider. Do they already do that? Who knows? Yeah, that would be a really interesting one if that ramps up in terms of consideration. Will they favor one over the other? Yeah, that'd be interesting. Entity optimization. So optimizing for entities, distinct concepts or objects recognized by search engines will become more prominent. user experience, UX, and accessibility. So providing a seamless user experience, including mobile responsiveness and fast loading times, will continue to be a significant ranking factor. Additionally, ensuring website accessibility for all users, including those with disabilities, expecting to gain importance. And yeah, I think that should really be up there, because I think, the internet's for everyone, and it's not always the case that it's that websites are that easy to use for everyone. So it's definitely something that site owners should be focusing on. Some more from Majestic. Content quality and relevance. So high quality, relevant content remains a cornerstone of SEO. Focus on user intent and providing valuable information tailored to target audience will be essential. Artificial intelligence and automation, as we mentioned before. So leveraging AI and automation tools for tasks like data analysis, content generation, and performance monitoring is expected to become more prevalent. Now, an SEO is focused on strategic decision making. I think that's the great thing, and that's what pretty much I use it for, not really content generation, but you can get ideas for sure. But, those tasks that used to, be very manually focused and take, a few hours to do, now take a lot less time, and it saves you so much time. And obviously that, as they mentioned, that means you could do more strategic thinking, more planning, more, building these strategies that actually make the biggest impact, rather than just doing all those mundane sort of tasks that do need to be done, but used to take a lot longer. So holistic digital marketing integration. So as we said, SEO will increasingly intersect with other digital marketing disciplines such as content marketing, social media, and paid advertising. So yeah, I mean, we've mentioned that before, but yeah, if you're not doing that now, you should. So our next source is from Yoast, obviously a well-known product, especially for those on WordPress. So they've picked out some of the insights here. AI integration, artificial intelligence will play a significant role in SEO strategies. As we say, automating tasks and enhancing content optimization. Zero-click searches. So the rise of zero-click searches will require SEOs to adapt by focusing on feature snippets and optimizing content for direct answers. And video content importance. So as we mentioned, video content will become increasingly vital. E-commerce SEO shifts. So e-commerce platforms will need to adjust SEO strategies to accommodate changing consumer behaviors and search algorithms, especially with the way search engine results are, more, if you look at the e-commerce results, it's very crowded. Obviously, Google are obviously trying to do a lot more through the platform itself. And, but there are still a lot more, there's a lot of opportunities there for e-commerce platform owners to take advantage of Google. So yeah, definitely it's going to be a big step up for them this year, I think, with the way that, even platforms like Perplexity are doing things. And I'm sure OpenAI will move into that space as well. So local SEO trends. So local SEO will gain prominence with businesses focus on local search optimization to attract nearby customers. Again, this is one that crops up every year, pretty much, local SEO. But as we mentioned before, because of the personalization getting more and more advanced, it probably will become more relevant in the next year or so. So user experience enhancement. So improving user experience will be crucial as search engines increasingly prioritize sites that offer seamless and engaging user interactions. And just some insights from some of the top people. Kevin Indig, someone that we cover a lot on the channel again. He says, AI plus no code offers SEO and other marketers powerful new workflows around building systems instead of working on single campaigns. Jess says AI agents will be all the hype, but very few SEOs will actually change their strategy. Only the bold have the buy-in to take tactics to the cutting edge. but this will be needed as LLM powered services, AI views, ChatGPT, etc., start slowly but steadily eating into traditional search. So yeah, I mean, I'm really interested in AI agents, but yeah, how many will actually take that on this year and fully utilize the power of AI? Who knows? But I probably won't be that many really that fully utilize it. I'm sure people will use it to some capacity, but fully utilize it, who knows? Aleda Solis predicts that tracking pixels, search features, and clicks versus no clicks will become fundamental, saying, start monitoring your overall search visibility and click behavior. What I said earlier, and yeah, 100%. And obviously things like, all our tools kind of touch upon it, whatever you use, like SEMrush or whatever, but advanced web ranking are really good for, especially the pixel side of it. Carolyn, hopefully that's pronounced okay. SEO professionals will need to ensure brand messaging remains cohesive and trustworthy across all channels while adapting to each platform's unique requirements. I think that's a really great point because, what we said earlier, teams having to work together more now because of that. The branding side of it is so important that, if you do work in silo, that you might be saying all different things about your brand, and that's confusing for search engines, but most importantly, confusing for users. So I do think that's something that you should be focused on, getting that, cohesive message. And also, every algorithm on all these different platforms work differently, even traditional Google search to how potentially how AI overviews work. So, they're all different, and you need to kind of work with the different teams to make sure that you're doing it correctly. Again, Kevin Indig predicts that Google's AI overviews will evolve. He says, I expect AI overviews to morph into other formats next year, similar to how they contain products in shopping. Right now, they look like feature snippets, but I expect Google to keep iterating. I also expect them to roll AIOs out even further to monetize queries, widening the gap between what's measurable and what's happening in search results even more. So very, very interested in there for Kevin. And our friend Mark Williams Cook says, I expect we'll see many smaller businesses take a top-down approach with content now, meaning they will go video first. And I think it's really smart. And so do I, to be fair. I think videos, like I say, especially for a smaller business, anyone really can make a video, like me. But as long as you've got a smartphone that have really great cameras now, anyone can make a video. And no matter what industry you're in, it can be really helpful and relevant. And you can use that, like I say, on social media, email, paid. You can use it on all the different channels. So, and also you can add it onto a piece of content. So I think, I think that's a really good approach. So now, after we looked at all the different sources and hopefully you found that helpful, we're now kind of just focusing on a few of the main topics that came out of it. And obviously I may have missed some. I've only focused on a few, but hopefully, we picked out some of the key ones. So AI and machine learning as core components. Obviously this came up quite a lot, what we just covered. Across all sources, there's consensus that artificial intelligence and machine learning will become more ingrained in search engine algorithms. And that's no secret. Obviously, Google have said that themselves pretty much. So, but we know all these companies like Meta and Microsoft are going to keep investing into these, into AI and machine learning, and it's only going to keep increasing. We have to keep up with it. So why it matters. So marketeers and content creators should learn about structured data, entity optimization, and advanced content tagging, ensuring content is machine readable and context driven. And Zoe says, earning visibility in AI overviews and generative AI tools will grow in importance in 2025. as users trust these platforms more. The next one is obviously user experience and page experience signals. So a common theme is that user experience will be vital to how sites rank, including core web vitals like loading speed, interactivity, and visual stability. As we say, core web vitals themselves, it's just a way to keep track of how you're doing. Obviously, it's been proven sometimes you can have really terrible core web vital scores and still rank well. So it's not, but generally, as we said before, it's just common sense. If your website works well, things aren't jumping around the page and it loads properly and quickly, you're going to have a better chance to please the user. And that's the main point. Search engines, especially Google, have repeatedly stated that user-centric metrics will keep evolving, meaning fast loading times and clear page layouts are more important than ever. So, yeah, obviously, because of the leaks and everything that's come out, we know that Google are tracking all these things. As we said before, tracking how users interact with content. And if your page is just messing around, things are popping up, things aren't working properly, people aren't going to interact with your content, and they're going to bounce off. And that's just the facts. So if you're doing that, Google will see it and your content won't rank as high. By 2025, as AI-driven search refines expectations, poor user experience will likely lead to diminishing visibility. So Anna says websites with strong UX, mobile optimization, fast load times, and accessible design will have an advantage. Sarah says managed hosting, better image optimization, and attention to core web vitals will gain importance due to increasing performance expectations. Yeah, because obviously, like we said before, if Google are giving people answers really quickly, I say when people do click on websites, they're looking for a bit more information on something. And if it's taken them, but there's still a lot of choice, so people's going on your website, they decide to go on your one, it's messing them around, just go on the next one. So obviously you need to create unique content to make them want to stick around maybe and, for a bit longer and check it out. But also, they will just go somewhere else or go and use a large language model. Julia Panozzo, obviously we've had her on and I'll share the video. I'll put a link to it, but we've had her on the channel and, it's really great, really knows her stuff and well worth following and checking out that video. But she says, collaborate for seamless user journey, work with UX, CX, and product teams to identify demand and create a smooth path from search to transaction. As we said before, working with those sort of, user journey teams are going to be crucial for everyone. Obviously SEO we're focusing on, but they're going to benefit from our expertise and vice versa. So the next one is something that came up a lot, but voice and natural language search. So several experts predict voice search and natural language queries will continue to grow thanks to the sophistication of digital assistants. So content creators should optimize for long tail queries, ensuring their pages address direct questions. So Edward said visual and voice search along with local and hyper-local optimization will become more integral to strategies as user habits evolve. But I think it speaks for itself, and we've covered it quite well in this video. So the next one was entity-based SEO and knowledge graph optimization. So many predict the search engines will put entities and relationships at the forefront. Understanding the concept of entity, that's person, place, thing, concept, and marking up content accordingly will help search engines categorize and surface information more accurately. So obviously I had a recent conversation with Christian Ward all around this, obviously speaking in the language of the machine, I guess, and making it really understand what your content's about, and it will help. Obviously, it's going to help them kind of connect the dots and actually understand what your content's all about and what you are as a brand, as a person. That's what it's trying to do, isn't it? So connect the dots, what's relevant to each other, what's related, how it's connected, so on and so forth. So if you can help it, and obviously you've got more chance to get seen. So Mark Williams Cook said, mere keyword alignment will give way to entity-based strategies. As we said before, it's well worth following Mark Williams Cook, because he says a lot of great stuff. And so it's really interesting. A lot of people talking about this entity-based stuff. So definitely one worth to watch there. So the next one, declining click-through rates but higher value traffic. So multiple sources mention the rise of zero clicks and how Google may continue to provide answers directly on the search, so reducing click-through rates. However, the value of each visitor who does click through is expected to increase due to more targeted search engine responses. So why it matters. So high intent traffic and brand building becomes crucial, because random visits might not be as common in the future SERP environments. So a few kind of expert insights here. So Steve says, knowing your audience's user intent and the keywords they're using is more important than ever as publishers adapt accordingly to this search traffic deficit. And Edwin says, in 2025, widespread AI adoption and the global rollout of AI overviews will increase zero-click searches, making it harder for brands to build recognition. And Miriam, who was on Search with Sean Live, a really great video around image optimization, so do check that out. I believe 2025 will be the year's brand rediscover the principles of trust and cooperation in content marketing. By treating content as a gift, you can rebuild relationships with your audience, strengthen community ties, and create meaningful, lasting connections. Harry says, invest heavily in brand authority, build content that communicates brand expertise and trust through blogs, forums, social media, and backlinks. And Anne, again, said, clicks are getting fewer, but the value of clicks is increasing as well, because people are coming to your site for action, not to find answers. I guess they're still looking to find answers, but in more detail, not just a quick fire sort of, 1 or 2 word answer. So the next one is video and multimedia SEO. So creating optimized video content, harnessing things like YouTube, and embedding transcripts on your own site are key for discoverability. So Caitlin says publishers will test entire new ways to present information, transforming existing content into more engaging formats that resonate with hard-to-reach audience segments. Carmen Dominguez, who's been on our channel as well, I really enjoyed that chat. Again, I'll put the link, well worth checking out. I believe that in 2025, content featuring relatable humans, videos, podcasts, and interviews will have far greater impact than AI content. And obviously, we've seen with with a lot of mentioning user-generated content here, communities and stuff. Obviously, people will get eventually tired, you'd think, of just AI stuff. They want to see actual humans talking about things and actually talk to real life humans and hear from them. So I still think, that's a good approach to take, and makes you stand out from all that AI content. So the next one is personalized, localized, and intent-focused content. Again, we talked a lot about intent in this video, but many experts note that search personalization and local results will become more precise, with Google factoring in real-time or near real-time signals about users. Focusing on local SEO and user intent signals will help maintain and enhance visibility. Tyler says in 2025, search results will become increasingly personalized, with each user seeing a unique version of the search tailored to their preferences, past activities, and interactions across search channels. And Tori Gray says in 2025, Google will continue prioritizing hyper-localization in search results, making it harder for national digital providers to compete with local brick and mortar options. Yeah, I think it'd be, AI is kind of ramped the game up a bit. It's making it very interesting to be an SEO at this time. So yeah, I can definitely see all that happening. And that's it in terms of, summarizing the key trends. I hope this video, you learned something from it. I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on what's going to happen in 2025. Out of all these that I've mentioned, which one do you think's most likely to happen, or probably won't happen, or maybe not as much as people think? Yeah, I'd be really, really interested to hear your thoughts on this, because, I think, like I say, I'm a bit skeptical about predictions, but many of these seem quite safe. Many seem like they're already happening to a degree, so I don't think they're too far-fetched. Obviously, there were a few in there that maybe are. Maybe we're giving too much credit to AI. Maybe people won't adopt AI as much as we think they will, or it won't advance. Maybe it will slow down in its advancements, and people will realize they actually prefer the traditional ways of search. But who knows? No one knows, and that's the thing. So yeah, really interested to hear your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something or took something away from it. And if you do enjoy it, please do subscribe, because it does help boost the channel. And yeah, bye. See you next time.